Well, hello there, and this is Auntie, and I am here to do a recap of the 1,000 Pound Sisters, season 4. I believe it's episode, let me think, 4. Let's get into it, y'all, shall we? Oh, yes, we shall.
Everybody needs a sweet old auntie. Everybody needs
with a whoop whoop and a boop boop
auntie
boop.
that everybody needs.
You can make this up.
Now you know that these are some crazy motherfuckers.
Everybody needs a sweet old auntie.
So why even bother?
Aunties and lives, sweet old auntie. Aunties and ways. Are you okay? Are you okay?
Well, welcome back, everybody, and this is Auntie. If this is your first time being here, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And to all of my new subscribers, thank you all so much for hitting that subscribe button and joining this family. To all of my nieces, nephews, and my members who have been here with me for the long haul, thank you all so much for your continued support. If I had to rate this episode of 1,000 Pound Sisters, season 4, episode 4, I probably will rate this episode a C. Let me know down in the comment section what you would rate this episode. Trust me, we're not going to be out here long. The only reason why this did get rise to the occasion of a C is because for the first time in Tammy Slaton and Amy's life and 1,000 Pound Sisters, the show, Tammy Slaton has reached her goal, her weight loss goal from Doctor Proctor. We have been waiting on this for like forever and a day. And that's the only reason why I got to see. Let me tell y'all a little bit about what happened. On last week's episode, we watched as the two sisters went to Tammy's house and discovered that her house was broken into. These people took everything, even down to the kitchen sink. You heard me. They took Tammy's kitchen sink, the refrigerator, the washing machine, the microwave, and everything and anything else that was not nailed down to Tammy's floor. And I think the reason why they were able or why they did that was because the house was left vacant for so long. See, we need real life. And I think that we got real life. We see the family doing activities and all that kind of stuff together. And, some of us are interested in it and we get a good kiki and a good caca out of it. And some of us is like, this is only for television. For that girl's house to be left vacant like that for 5 months, what did you expect? Where's the family in that? I mean, I'm just asking a question and not making a statement. Where's the family in that? They decide while Tammy is away to not wash the house. Now, they know that Amy lived next door and they have new neighbors. And some people probably was, scoping it out and saw that it was vacant and that there was no cars, nobody watching it, nobody doing a drive-by on the house, and they ripped Tammy off. Last season, we watched as I think the older sister's name is Amanda. It's Amanda and Misty, I believe it is. They were trying to encourage Tammy about, trying to lose weight, trying to, make more of an inclusive relationship or whatever with Tammy. Tammy was having a hard time. She was drinking, partying, she was doing all kinds of stuff. And it was their intention to say, you know what, Tammy, we love you, we encourage you. So one of the sisters, and like I said, I think her name is Amanda, she gifted Tammy with one of her grandmother's quilts. And Tammy was like, she had a vision about getting this quilt and all this kind of stuff. And then, when they went to the house, the person had even taken the quilt. Now, I don't know about burglary or robbery or any of that kind of stuff, right? I'm scared of my own shadow when it comes down to stuff like that. But I would not imagine if I was a robber, or a thief, that I would steal a quilt. Why would that be something that I would want? A quilt out of somebody's home? Like, is there a market for quilts? I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but is there a market for that? Because why would I go to a house and steal a quilt? Anyway, they stole, everything out of the house, and there was hardly anything left for Tammy. And what was left for Tammy was ransacked. And I really felt for her because, God, couldn't nobody watch my back while I was gone? Even if you put a fake camera on the house, it would have been better than nothing. Thank you so much, T. Cooper, for the 1999 super chat. I love you, Auntie. I love you too. Let me tell you, y'all, this is one fantastic, phenomenal woman. All of you all are, but y'all have got to follow her on Instagram. She is doing the damn thing. Oh my God. T, you are just doing it. From Vogue to Beyonce to everything, like you are doing it in the makeup industry, honey. And I am living vicariously through your Instagram page. Everywhere you going, T, I'm going with you. Love you. If y'all are not following her on Instagram, please do so. Because when you see the phenomenal things that she is doing and staying humble while doing it, I'm sorry, I know I'm off topic, but staying humble while doing it, it would just bless your socks off. Like, I even like to see her driving to a photo shoot with Converse and Adidas, in the dark of the night, bitch. I mean, she's like, it's 4:00, it's a 4:00 call, it's a 2:00 call. Honey, we in the cold. Honey, we out in the, like, thank you, T. Thank you, T. Y'all got to follow T. Y'all want to see something really interesting. Thank you, boo. Okay, so now back to the subject at hand. So I just don't understand if maybe there's a market for it. I don't know if there's a market for it or whatever, but the last thing that I would be thinking to steal out of the house is a quilt. So this had to have been people who were watching the show, knew what it was, and maybe they felt like, okay, we're going to sell it on a quilt market. I don't know. But anyway, so when the sisters find this out, they're concerned because they know that Tammy has the kind of personality where moving a cotton ball from one end of the sink to another will throw her off. And so they're going to go up to see Tammy to visit her and to tell her, right? Tammy is extremely homesick. And one thing I've noticed is that these sisters are at least going back and forth. Now, to visit Tammy. But I'm sure that that's so that they can get more camera time and all that kind of stuff. So meantime and in between time, we see Amy playing around with her son, going through the motions. Amy is so boring to me, and she's not funny. We saw Chris. Chris is trying to get weight, his skin reduction or skin surgery to remove the skin off of him. And we know from my 600-pound life that your skin has to be, you know, really, really hanging skin with no fat in it in order to get this surgery. So he has to lose more weight in order to get the fat, as much fat as possible out of the skin. And he is not there yet. And so he met up with, his nephews and everything, and they were playing some games outside and all that kind of stuff. Amy is now, on her way to the hospital. And so we're like, okay. And the first thing I thought is that she ate something. Michael is concerned because Amy is 8 months pregnant. And I'm thinking to myself, when, Sway? Like when? Like I had no idea that Amy was 8 months pregnant because she just looked fat. Did y'all know that Amy was 8 months pregnant, 30 days away from having her baby? Like she has gained so much of her weight back or retained so much weight that she doesn't even, I thought she was like 4 or 5 months pregnant. So I'm just like, she's just really a big girl. Now she's in the car. She's saying she can't breathe. She's having pains in her lower back and she's having shooting pains in the front. And I'm thinking, Amy's got indigestion. This is the same thing that happened to Amy last year. But I'm thinking, okay, Auntie, don't be so cruel. Give her the benefit of the doubt. Maybe this is something that is happening with the pregnancy. However, we get to the hospital. Amy's thinking that her gastric surgery is somewhere, that she's having some type of leakage, or maybe, some incision has burst. Come to find out that Amy again overate, ate a pizza, and now she has indigestion. She's the type of person that just goes to the, or that seems like she goes to the hospital for every little thing that happens to her, because her and Michael don't have the intelligence to just go and see if I take an antacid or something like that, would I feel better? You wasting a hospital staff time going to the hospital thinking that something is wrong with the baby. You laying up there like about to die, and you just got gas. Maybe if you get up and exercise and walk, the gas are moving, you'll get the poop. I'm sorry. I can't do it with her. I know that hospital staff know her by heart. So anyway, she goes through that with Michael. Her and Michael are, happy and everything that, it's just gas. And she thinks it's funny, and I don't. I think it's just a complete and total waste of the hospital staff time. They can be dealing with patients who are seriously having issues, because if you've been to a hospital, you know what it feels like to sit in the emergency room or urgent care center for hours. And then you got somebody in the back like Amy who can't control her eating, and she's eating a pizza, and now I can't. So in the meantime, the sisters go up to the clinic, and they're going to see Tammy. And Tammy is happy that her sisters are there. They're having a great time. They're playing games together. They're visiting with her, and they just don't know when it's going to be the appropriate time to tell Tammy that someone has broken into Tammy's house. And so the sisters have made a decision that they was going to try to, wait it out and see, when's the best time to say something to her. And so, Tammy has had such a great time with her sisters that they stayed in the hotel, and they came in the next day. Now, and they're leaving. They're going back home. But Tammy said, hey, can y'all just hold off for a little bit? Today is the day that I need to weigh in. And I want you all to go through this with me. I'm 10 pounds away from meeting his goal. The doctor's goal was for Tammy to get down to 550 pounds before he would consider her for weight loss surgery. And so Tammy is, a little scared, of that scale. And I know how that is when you're trying to lose weight. And especially with such a big, she got a lot at stake right now. And so the sisters are like rah for her in the back, but they're scared too because Tammy has gotten to this point many times before and has been unsuccessful. And so Tammy gets on the scale and everything, and she stands there, and Tammy comes in at a whopping 534 pounds, all the way down from what, 707, 706, something like that. And like, I literally, like, seriously, I almost cried, bitch. The reactions from her sister, the reaction from Tammy, I almost cried. Now, we have seen recent pictures from Tammy. It is very obvious that Tammy has had weight loss surgery. But to see Tammy for the last, because remember last week I was cussing them out because I felt like they was playing in our face and wasting our time. But to see that Tammy has finally met this goal, something that she hasn't been able to do in the last 4 seasons, really delighted me. And it really let me know that in some ways Tammy has finally taken this thing seriously. That she is finally saying, okay, it's time to stop playing games. I almost died. I have a trach in my throat, and I really need to get this weight off to change my life. And so we see nasty ass Tammy for one moment really being happy. And I'm thinking, damn, if I was the sisters, I wouldn't tell her. So Amanda and Misty are being, they're being interviewed, and Misty is like, I'm so proud of her. Tammy actually got down under, she was 534. So she was under, she lost more weight, let me say it that way, than what was required for her to do. Now I'm thinking, maintain it. Do the surgery tomorrow. Do the surgery tomorrow because we don't know what the next day is going to bring. I am so nervous that, like, I was happy, and I was happy to finally see her happy. I was happy that her sisters were there and they were supportive and they got to share that with her. But bitch, I was like, do the surgery tomorrow just in case she eat a hostess ho bitch and all the weight come back on. When she talks to Doctor Proctor, she'll be at 551 pounds. But Tammy still has a mountain that she has to climb. And that is having a honest discussion with her therapist. We know that Dr. Proctor and Dr. Proctor has said that, there are other things that Tammy has to do in order to be a candidate for weight loss surgery. And we have seen her week after week, episode after episode, be very disrespectful to her therapist. And so, this is another mountain she has to climb. So the sisters take her outside. And they're like, kicking the bobo and about to leave, and they tell Tammy, well, no, they took her into the beauty parlor room. And Tammy was saying that's, where she gets her hair washed and all that kind of stuff. And they tell her, we've got some bad news. We got to talk to you about something serious. And so when they give Tammy the news, Tammy talks about the quilt. They tell her that that her house was vandalized, and there was a robbery in the house. And she asked about the blanket, and bitch, the air just came up out of me. It was like somebody stepped on my chest. And her sister said, yes, Tammy, it was gone. And Tammy took a more mature position and didn't get mad. She didn't get upset. She was bothered by it. She was hurt. But one of the things that Tammy said was they must have needed it. And I wanted to enjoy that moment because I know the bitch Tammy is still there. So I was like, I'm not getting psyched up that she has changed or anything like that. I know that Tammy is still going to be bitchy Tammy, but I just wanted to savor that one little moment from Tammy that she was like, I'm not going to let anything mess up my ability to have this surgery and change my life or to save my life. And I was like, that was very, very, very mature of Tammy. It was almost like it was an out-of-body experience, at least for me. And I don't know what it was for you all, but I'ma hold this little piece of happiness for Tammy. Congratulations, Tammy. I know we drag you, and we're gonna continue to. Yeah, we're gonna continue to, but we drag you and we've almost given up hope. And we just didn't know whether or not you were going to do it. You was playing in our faces, and it took a long time. But now you're here. And so I'm sure that we're going to be able to go through the process with her. Hopefully she will do better with the therapist. Shadow X said, you got to get your moments in with Tammy where you can. Absolutely. Absolutely. Because we know the biatch is coming out. We know it is because that's just who Tammy is. It's who she is, who she's always been. Tammy still has a sense of entitlement. She's a baby of the family, and everybody has babyfied Tammy for so long. So long. But I'm going to take this win. I am going to take this win. So, Tammy met her weight loss goal. She is weighing in at 534 pounds. Who would have thunk it? Sure wasn't me. But that is the end of my review. Thank you so much, T. Cooper, for the super chat. Thank you all so much for being here. I really do appreciate it. Thank you to my moderators who always keep the chat nice and safe for everybody to be able to communicate. And y'all, until we meet again, you all have a fantastic night. And we will talk soon. Y'all be safe out there in those streets. Continue to love one another down in the chat. Love y'all. Thank you for your support.